DreAllDay.com.
What's up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Today we are talking about networking. A lot of people ask me about networking, whether it be in the athlete world, athletes who are trying to, get on, get a career started, further your career. They say, well, Dre, how can I network more, meet more people, make more connections? Or they're trying to network but have no idea what they're doing when it comes to networking. Or people in the business world, of course. And people, in the business world, people talk about networking like it's like the backbone of everything. That people make money, not money making people, or whatever it is. You get the right connections, you make money instead of making money and then making the right connections. A lot of people have said that, and I can attest to there being times where knowing the right person, being in the right place, having the right connection helped me close a deal or create an opportunity that my skills alone, my talent alone couldn't create. My hard work alone could not create. So are there times where networking will do the business for you that you couldn't do for yourself? Absolutely, there are times that will happen, but doesn't mean that that's all you do. It just means you need to learn how to take advantage of your ability to network. What I'm going to talk about in this video are 4 tips, 4 principles you can follow for networking that will help you create better connections. And that's really what networking is, creating real connections with people, not to the point that they just shake your hand and small talk you and smile in your face in front of you, but that they actually remember you, take your information and follow up with you with something, maybe later on down the line, maybe immediately, something that can help you in some way that you can help them. That's what real networking is about. It's not just about smiling in people's faces, the grip and grin, as they say. Grip by meaning the handshake, smile in somebody's face, and then they completely forget about you the next day. They're looking at your business card, don't even remember what you look like. That's a waste of time. We're not talking about that kind of networking. I'm talking about some real networking where you make real connections with real people who really remember you and you really get something out of it. 4 things you're going to follow. First one, I'm going to tell you all 4 up front. First of all, you're going to follow up. Second, you're going to give people something that they want, and I'm going to tell you how to do that, one specific way to do that. Third way is to initiate. You can't sit back and hope people want to connect with you. You got to connect with them. And the 4th way is to continue to follow up, and I'm going to tell you one way to do that specifically that you'll be able to easily remember. So the first one is following up. How often do you go to a business event? And I don't know how much people hand out business cards these days, because a lot of the stuff we do is digital. Me personally, I haven't handled a business card of my own card, since like 2015, and even that was a waste of money and waste of time getting those, because I didn't even want to carry them around. So now when I meet somebody, I don't care if I just stepped off the stage speaking to 5,000 people ask me for a business card. I'm like, yo, I don't have a business card. Go to my website, it's called DreAllDay.com. Take my number, I know you got a phone, take my email, text me, whatever, and now you got my information. I don't want to carry around a bunch of business cards. I'm not going to remember who you are any damn way unless your photo is on the card. Just give me your number, give me your your Instagram or your website or whatever, and I'll remember you that way. I don't carry around business cards. So the first point here being follow up. It's not about just handing people your information. It's about you actually, after you meet them, after that initial meeting, that day or that meeting or that event, actually follow up with that person. Get them a text, get them a call, get them an email. Ideally, get them a call, because how many texts you're going to get from people you met today at a conference? You met 20 people. You going to remember all those people when you get texts from random numbers that you don't even know? Probably not. Get that person a call. Give them something to remember you by. Follow up with something tangible, like, yo, here's the website that I was telling you about. Here's that thing that my man did that I know you can help, that can help you with the business issue that you were talking about when we had our brief conversation. Give them something to remember you by, not just get a text and send a text. Oh yeah, I made connections with 15 people. Nobody cares if you met 15 people. Do any of those 15 people even remember who the hell you are? Follow up, and follow up with something real and tangible, not just following up and saying that you sent the email or text, but with something real or tangible so that people will actually remember you. Point number 2. Give people something that they want, which I talked about in point number 1 in following up. And the best way to give people something that they want is just understand there's one universal thing that every human being wants, and that's to talk about themselves. Everybody likes to talk about themselves, what they're doing, whether they're doing great, whether they're doing terrible, whether they got a challenge or they got a success. And the best way to find out what people want to talk about is asking questions. What's going on with you right now? What's your biggest challenge in business right now? What are you most proud of right now? What's one thing you came to this event to get? What's one way that, knowing what you know about me, that I could possibly help you? Who are you trying to meet that I might know that I could help connect you with this person or the person who knows the person? Ask questions. When you ask people questions, then shut up, they'll talk. And people like to talk about themselves. There's no human on this planet who does not like to talk about themselves to a person who is willing to listen. So you be the listener, be willing to listen to what they're saying, be an active listener, don't just sit there and zone out. but let them talk. Ask questions, let them talk, and they'll like you just because you let them talk. And it works on you just as much as it works on the next person. Point number 3, we're talking about here networking in a genuine way that you can create real connections with real people. Number 3, initiate. Meaning, if you go to a networking event or a meetup or a conference, don't just stand on the wall or sit in the corner hoping somebody comes up to you because you don't know anybody there, or only talk to the 3 people that you know because they're the only people you know at the event. Go and initiate conversations with other people. Simplest way to do this, for those of you who are shy, get unshy, just smile and say hello to people and shake hands. If you're at an event where people are there to meet, people will be happy to at least chat you up for a couple minutes. Even if they're not really interested in you, they'll at least be willing to chat you up, and you can kind of break the ice and get comfortable approaching and talking to people. But you got to get comfortable initiating conversations with people, because listen, in life, people are not just going to beat down your door and just be wanting to talk to you unless you happen to be some famous individual. If you're not that, people are going to be going about their business. If you want to talk to them, people will be nice. They will talk to you. They will reciprocate your energy if you're willing to approach. So approach, smile, say hello, make eye contact, shake hands, initiate conversations with people. If you're willing to initiate circumstances and situations, then you create some momentum, and you create the opportunity to maybe get lucky. Maybe you'll meet the right person. Maybe you'll meet the person who knows the person who knows the person, because you initiated that conversation. But had you never said anything, then you never would have knew what was going on. How many of you have ever met somebody who was in the same space as you all the time? Like, they lived in the same building as you, they worked at the same job as you, went to the same school as you, they were in the same environment as you for a long time. Y'all never talked. But then one day y'all finally had a reason to engage, or had a conversation. It turns out this person was the exact person who could help you, or they knew somebody who could help you. And you're like, damn, I could have said something to this dude or this girl 6 months ago, or 6 weeks ago, or 3 days ago when I seen them the other time, but I never said anything. You never know who's right there under your nose, right next door to you, above you, below you, across the street from you, working at the same job as you, sitting in the same Starbucks as you every day. You got to be willing to initiate these conversations. Some of them will lead nowhere, but some of them will lead somewhere. And there's no downside. I've always said this, there's no downside to more people knowing who you are, unless you happen to be a criminal. If you're a criminal, you don't want nobody to know who you are. But if you're not committing any crimes, you want everybody to know who you are. There's no downside to this, especially when they have a positive feeling about you, some type of positive thing to say about your positive frame of reference to you. Point number 4, the topic again here is networking in a genuine way. I heard someone say this once, is that once you meet someone and you want to make something happen with them, or conduct some kind of business, or do something with this individual, you need to be, and you're following up, and maybe they're not kind of reciprocating your follow-up as much as you want, but you're really trying to get something done. They're not really responding. They're not replying to your text. They ain't call you back. You left my voicemail last week. Be professionally annoying. Not like that. I heard someone say that once on an interview. They said their way of selling is to be professionally annoying. That means when you follow up with somebody and they're not responding, follow up in a different way. They didn't respond to your text, send them a call them. They didn't respond to your call, send them an email. They didn't respond to your email, hit them on Twitter. They didn't respond to your Twitter, send them a DM. They didn't respond to your DM, like a bunch of their pictures and leave comments on them. People do that to me on Instagram all the time to get the attention. Whatever you got to do, try different ways. And the great thing about these days is, as opposed to even 10 or 20 years ago, when there was only one way to reach a person, and they didn't respond, it would seem like kind of you were stalking, because you kept calling the same number, leaving the same message. Now you can hit them on the phone, a call, you can text them, you can DM them, you can WhatsApp somebody, you can find where they're on social, hit them on every single social platform, you can subscribe to their list on their website. There's so many different ways you can reach people, especially public facing individuals who are on these websites and on all these platforms and have all these profiles. Keep connecting with them in different ways. Don't keep using the same message. Be creative. Be professionally annoying. So be annoying that they can't ignore you, but also do it professionally. Don't look thirsty. Don't just stalk the person. Give them some space between. Get some space between your contacts. Because look, somebody might be busy. They might have 100 DMs in their IG that they never look at. They might never read their app replies. They might have 3,000 emails in their inbox that may never get to their voicemail because they're on the road all the time. So you never know what people's situation is, but keep following up until you get the response or the contact or the conversation that you want to get. Because what's the point of even meeting somebody if you're not going to follow up with them? And if they don't like that, or they block you, or they get mad at you for following up, then shit, let them get mad at you. But don't just blow the situation and just let it float off into the wind because you were afraid to follow up because you were worried about how somebody might react to it. So what if they get mad? They get mad, the connection was never worth it for you anyway, but at least you know for sure rather than just letting it die and doing nothing. right? Passively. So let's recap what I talked about here, how to create those connections, networking in a positive way that can actually create some momentum for you. And again, I want you to understand that not everybody you meet or try to network with, this is going to work, because some people are just flakes. You know, some people will just ghost you. I mean, how many of you have done that to other people? So people are going to do it to you. So, but understand, if you do this often enough and you're initiating, that's probably the most important thing I would say here. You're going to meet some people and make some connections that otherwise never would have happened for you. So number one, follow up. Most people don't follow up. They say they're going to call you. They say, let's meet up. They say, yo, let's do something. They say, yo, let's meet for coffee one day. And then you never hear from them again. So make sure you separate yourself from the average person by following up. Number two, give people what they want. You know what everybody wants? They want to talk about themselves, because we are all narcissists at heart. Ask questions, let people talk about themselves, be an active listener, and they will love you just because you let them talk about their favorite subject, which is themselves. Point number three, initiate. Do not stand on a wall or just live where you live. You move to a neighborhood, don't talk to nobody, don't say hi to anybody. You live in a neighborhood for 3 years, don't know nobody in the neighborhood because you just won't talk to people. Initiate. Talk to people, say hi, smile, say hello. Don't have that energy that you want a confrontation or that you're on edge, because then that's going to repel people away from you. Have energy like you want to talk to people. Smile, make eye contact, relax, meditate, do some yoga in the morning or something, whatever you got to do to relax. All right, calm yourself down, get enough sleep, have sex the night before, whatever you got to do to relax calm your nerves, so that people feel comfortable around you. They'll be willing to speak to you when you have the right kind of energy and you're willing to initiate. And point number four, be professionally annoying. Follow up with people. If they're not responding, hit them a different way. If they're not responding to that, follow up a different way. Not responding to that, follow up a different way. Keep following up different ways as much as you need to until you get a response from that person, whether they get angry at you for following up too much or they finally respond to you and they say, you know what, I respect the fact that you followed up. You're so professional for following up. I respect your diligence. I respect your persistence. People say this to me all the time. I'll follow up with somebody. If I'm trying to do business and they're not responding, I'll keep following up. Even if it's once a week for 3 months, I'll keep following up until I get the response that I want, because why otherwise I even reach out to them in the first place if I don't want to make that conversation happen? So those are my tips for you for networking, connecting, building relationships, meeting new people, and doing it in a professional way, but also a constructive way that you can produce a real result, being having a real conversation with someone, and you never know where that may lead if you're willing to have as many as possible. You plant those seeds. Not all of them are going to grow into something, but a few of them might turn into a big oak tree that can serve you for years. Work on your game. Dre, oh yeah, and my game group is coming soon. It's dreallday.com/ I can't even tell you the link yet because it ain't ready yet, but it's coming soon. It's called the Game Group. Just stay tuned. I'll tell you about it in my video soon. Work on your game. dreallday.com. My book, Work on Your Game, using the pro athlete mindset to dominate in business, sports, and life, is available now where all books are sold, physical, digital, and of course the audiobook, 100% done by me. You have learned from these philosophies, the mental game, business, sports, life, anything you do, this is the book for you. Go get it now and work on your game. Dre all day.